Hello everyone and welcome to episode 29. I just spent 88 hours playing and beating Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth. Incredible game, great story, great characters, and while it would be really cool to talk about Infinite Wealth, it's a game that you can spend 88 to 100 hours playing. So the width and depth of it would be immense. The topics it goes over, the wealth disparity of Hawaii, the rehabilitation of criminals, the idea of accountability, eternal bonds of friendship, speaking from the heart, all of those things are deserving and worthy of going over. But the more I thought about Like a Dragon 8, the more I really wanted to talk about one thing that was head and shoulders above everything else. The main character, ICHIBAN. Now, video game protagonists are hugely important. You need someone not only to connect to emotionally, that needs to be your anchor in the world that you're playing in. So Clive Roosevelt from Final Fantasy 16 is a great emotional anchor because you're with him on his journey. Joel from The Last of Us provides such a great anchor as you go on that journey. Same thing with Ellie. Cloud, Strife, I can go on and on. Video game protagonists are especially for long-running franchises. So, Yakuza has been going on since 2005, and the main character and the co-main character of this game is Kazuma Kiryu. He's a great main character. I remember, apologies for my overuse of it's a space filler and I know I need to stop it, but it's hard. Anyway. Kazuma Kiryu has been the main character for a long time. And he's great. He's a great main character. So, when I first saw the announcement of another main character taking over for Kazuma for Yakuza 7, I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm too attached to Kiryu. I can't give this up. But, I had no choice. Here comes Yakuza 7, and I didn't know how well I was going to connect to this main character of Ichiban. Ichiban is someone who was found in a coin locker, just to give some backstory, and raised in a soapland. Soapland is kind of like a brothel-esque thing. And then he was kind of taken in by the Yakuza, very much through motivation of his own, because someone who was in the Yakuza saved him one time. And he's someone who's very loyal. He goes on to take a rap for a murder he did not commit, gets out of jail, finds out he's no longer part of that. Very, very intense story for Yakuza 7, so I highly recommend playing it. And then, obviously, continues into Yakuza 8. What I find so enduring about Ichiban is here's a character that I would describe as the best bro of all time. He doesn't know how to talk to women. You can't communicate his feelings correctly. But he is someone, like, when it comes to being a bro, when it comes to being a pal, he's there 100%. He knows exactly what to say. In other situations where he may not, being a best friend is the thing he's the greatest at. And what I found so enduring about him is, while playing these games, it almost feels like a hand on my shoulder, an invisible hand on my shoulder being like, it's going to be all right. And these last few weeks for me personally have been a little chaotic, stressful, and to have a character like that I'm playing through this game, of spending so much time and so many hours playing through, and to almost feel like Invisible Hand, like it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be okay, was so powerful, and I needed that so much. And so to have a character do that was nothing short of magical. So Ichiban is such a important force in Yakuza 7 and 8 because of that positivity, that idea that, you can mess up. You can mess up bad. But, like, it's going to be okay if you take the right steps. So, there are two moments in the game where two characters betray him. The first character, when she admits it, and she's like, "Look, I'm trying to make things right. I don't even know if I deserve to be your friend anymore." And his response is just, "Look, I chose to trust you. That came with the good. That came with the bad, and we're moving forward. We're making this right together." That was really inspirational. The second one was he meets up with this character that betrayed him, and he's like, "I don't know why you think we're friends, and I don't know, and he's like breaking down emotionally over the betrayal that he's done with Ichiban. I'm being very vague because I really want you to play Infinite Wealth. It's an incredible game. He's like, "Yeah, I know you did some crappy stuff, and I didn't like it, but I'm your friend. And the first step is accountability, is owning it. And if you can own it, and if you could take accountability for it, and start the road to making things right, I'll be there. Rooting for you, waiting for you to see it through." And that's, my God, the idea of forgiveness, the idea of like, you can still hold someone accountable, but also show that like, you're still good friends. The quote Ichiban tells him that I'm going to read was nothing short of tear-jerking. "If you ever feel down or a little lost, by all means, give me a ring. I'll hear you out. I mean, what are friends for?" That's just, there's an old interview, and I don't know exactly where to find it, with Andrew Garfield, and he's talking about his disappointment in The Amazing Spider-Man. And he was talking about how he wanted his version of Peter to feel like a hand on young people's shoulders, to say like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And that's what that character should have been. Well, that's what Ichiban was. That's what Ichiban is. And to have a character that you're interacting as for so many hours be that inspirational and that wonderful, God, that's just amazing. I think what's more interesting and what makes video game protagonists, so good, and it can either, when it works incredible. When it doesn't, obviously it falls flat on its face. But when everything is in place to do what it's supposed to do, you are that character, and you feel like you are through them, and you get to live their experiences, and you get to be a part of them. But also, because you spend so much time with them, you develop this relationship, and it becomes to me it's a stronger emotional bond than me maybe watching something for 2 hours, 3 hours. That, not to say that it's not a bond with film characters or TV characters. TV a little more so, because obviously you spend some more time with them. But something about like video game main characters where you really get to be with them and have this dynamic relationship. So I don't know. I would just think about what are the main characters that you really click with, and that gave you that feeling of like it's gonna be all right. So for me, obviously Ichiban is number one. That's what it means in Japan, number one. But you have so many others. Snake, Kazuma, like I said earlier. You have Cloud. I love Clive. Ooh. You have. Oh my god, blanking when I need to be called into action. You have Shepard, which is almost a player surrogate character. You have the Master Chief. You have Jesse from Control. You have all these great characters, and yeah. So Ichiban is just this great character, and really the highlight, and to me the most important part of Yakuza 8. So I hope you have a good day. I hope you, if you ever get a chance, get to play the game. And thank you for tuning in.